the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news that happened during the week February 19th to February 25th, 2010. In movie news, Diane Nelson, head of DC Entertainment, told MTV.com that the recent report that Christopher Nolan was mentoring a new Superman movie was nothing but rumour. She said, "We don't have any plans about that, and as I've mentioned, in the coming months we'll be making a lot of announcements about what our content plans will be." She added, "But right now, that's nothing but rumour, and we frankly don't say a whole lot more about rumours than that." LatinoReview.com claimed to have discovered that David Goyer has been hired to write the script for a new Superman movie. Supposedly, Thomas Toll, head of Legendary Pictures, approached David Goyer, who had an idea that was well received by Warner Brothers. Apparently the story idea was similar in context to what John Byrne did when revamping the Superman comics in 1986, giving the story a modern and believable grounding. The title of the movie is reportedly The Man of Steel and involves Luthor and Brainiac. However, Ain't It Cool News claims to have spoken with Thomas Toll, who debunked the Latino Review report. IGN.com came back after that and said Toll was intentionally keeping things quiet and that Goyer was working with Jonah Nolan on the script. Seems that the truth of Truth, Justice and the American Way is proving very elusive. Justice League Crisis on Two Earths was released this week. Superman homepage staff writer Barry Fryman has reviewed the special edition 2-disc version of the all-new DC Universe animated movie. You can check out his review at the website now. There are also plenty of interviews around the web for the launch of Crisis on Two Earths. We posted an interview with James Wood, who did the voice of Owlman, while there are a handful of video interviews posted at newsarama.com. The music for the animated feature, composed by James L. Venable, is also available to own as both a CD release or digital download through Amazon, and it's also available to download through iTunes and other digital music outlets. Ilya Saukoin, co-producer on the first 3 Superman movies starring Christopher Reeve, is making his first ever convention appearance this Saturday. Fans living in the New York City area might want to make plans to attend Mike Carbo's New York Comic Book Marketplace convention on February 27th, where Mr. Saukoin will be appearing to answer questions and sign autographs. Visit the official website at nycbm.com for further details. In TV news, Peter McDermott has updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the most recent Season 9 episode, Persuasion. Neal Bailey and Douglas Trumbull have written their reviews for this same episode, causing a major stir amongst the fans, with Neal giving it a 1 out of 5, while Doug gave it a 3.5 out of 5. The CW has released the official spoiler-filled description for Conspiracy, the 15th episode of Season 9 of Smallville. In this episode, Bernard Chisholm, a doctor who died and was brought back to life by the Kandorians so they can experiment on him, escapes and kidnaps some Kandorians in order to prove aliens have invaded Earth. Bernard tries to get Lois to write a story validating his claim, but when Lois refuses, he kidnaps her too. Look for our episode summary and review a few days after the episode airs. Superman homepage received word that Brian Doherty, who was just this month promoted to Senior Vice President National Sales at the CW, has revealed that the execs at the CW are excited about a 10th season for Smallville, wanting to really go out with a bang. The word is that they're attempting to close a deal with Michael Rosenbaum to return as Lex Luthor, wanting to sign him up for at least 9 or 10 episodes. Apparently an announcement will be made one way or the other very soon. Wesley McGuinness, the actor who played the villain Icicle in the Absolute Justice 2-hour telemovie on Smallville, spoke with Starry Constellation magazine about being cast in the role and what it was like being on the long-running TV series. He said, "I had a couple of opportunities to audition for it earlier, and I think I got really lucky with the role I got." IGN.com has discovered that Gil Bellows, best known for his role in the TV series Ally McBeal, has been cast in the role of Maxwell Lord for Smallville. Bellows will be appearing in the season's 19th episode titled Charade. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes of the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Check out his review of Shot in the Dark, in which a woman comes to Clark for help after her nephew takes a picture of him changing into Superman. A rare copy of the first comic book featuring Superman sold on Monday for $1 million US, smashing the previous record price for a comic book. The 1938 edition of Action Comics No. 1, widely considered the holy grail of comic books, was sold from a private seller to a private buyer, neither of whom released their names. The issue, which features Superman lifting a car on its cover, originally cost 10 cents. The 41st episode of the From Crisis to Crisis podcast is now online. This week it's Lex Luthor versus Mr. Mxyzptlk in Superman number 31, and Superman gets mugged into galactic style while Matrix visits Metropolis in Adventures of Superman 454. Comic books we reviewed this week included Supergirl number 50, which was reviewed by Jeffrey Bridges, who rated it a 2 out of 5, calling it a crushing disappointment. Michael Bailey reviewed Superman Batman number 69, saying, a pretty average story with a lot of flash and very little substance, and he gave it a 3 out of 5. Michael also reviewed Justice League of America number 42, giving it a 4 out of 5 rating, saying, this title has a story in it that justifies the title Justice League of America. Superman comic shipping this week from February 24th include Blackest Night number 7, which is available in an alternate cover, and Superman 697. In other news, episode 62 of Radio KAL, the monthly podcast of the Superman homepage, is now available to listen to. Neal and I discuss the new executive team at DC, the Chris Nolan on Superman rumour, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Smallville Absolute Justice, Clark destroying Zod's solar towers, War of the Superman, Supergirl number 50, and a whole lot more. Be sure to also check out Last Son of Krypton chapter 62 and Lost Daughter of Krypton chapter 34 audio dramas from PennantAudio.com. That's all the Superman news there was for the week February 19th to February 25th. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Hello, I am here to comment on comments. Well, we certainly receive a lot of comments on the Superman homepage. I seem to get a lot for the Smallville review. There seem to be a lot all over the place. And I used to be really obsessed with them and edit them and monitor them and care about them. And I've kind of gone to a place where I don't. And the reason is because over time, it's kind of been proven again and again and again that a good faith effort is rewarded with people who will not read and respond negatively. I've commented on this a bunch of times, but I've come up with a new way to address it. And a new way to look at it so that I can respond to the people who are goodly enough to read it and enjoy and actually respond in a cogent way versus the people who don't. And the reaction I've been having recently is to just not respond to anything. I've just pulled back away. But I've got a new idea, the as much effort theory. The as much effort theory goes along the lines of, I will put as much effort into responding as you seem to have put into reading my work. So this means that if you write and you say, hey, I enjoyed this, this, and this, or hey, I read the piece and hated this, this, and this, as long as you think about it and are making an honest effort, as much effort as I've put into exploring the show in question, I will respond. And that seems to have worked really, really well. And that's kind of the way that fandom kind of works really well, I've noticed over the years. A good example of a bad way to do it is I was criticized for intellectualizing things too much in a badly spelled letter that had no periods or capital letters. That didn't really require much effort. It didn't really require much thought. But I had a couple of people who asked honest questions about motives and intents and wanted to know why I thought a certain thing or didn't think a certain thing about a certain thing. And that was cogent and intelligent and obviously took effort. And even though it was critical, it worked. I think this is a good way to go about things, and I think that that's the reason why I've been staying away from comments, because comments by necessity are brief, not very well thought out and to the point, and I still think they should be there, and I still think that I'm glad that people enjoy them, but I don't check them. So if you want to interact about the fandom, or if you want to interact about writing, or if you want to ask questions about Superman or make suggestions to the Superman homepage, I suggest a strongly worded letter, and that can mean positive or negative, but overall, I'm trying to find some peace with this concept of interaction in a place where, people will immediately jump into, if you don't like it, don't watch it, and still enable the reviews to continue and enable these things to go on. By its very nature, these things need to have some kind of rhyme or reason. And that's not really accomplished as well with simple one-word response from people who, for some reason, seem to go out of their way to try and ruin your day. I don't know why the internet does that. I don't know why anyone would do that. But, I think I'm finally coming to some kind of peace with it. And those of you who have watched most of these videos know that that's something that's been a long time coming.